Put a little bit of the rub, nigga, I gotta be safe.
Look at the sports talk.
For 3 20-point losses in their 5 games against Ohio State since Jim Harbaugh became head coach in 2015. That equals their total number of 20-point losses in the 59 games against everyone else. Michigan doesn't have more than 2 losses against any other opponent during the Harbaugh era. Dan?
If the conversation's like, should we get rid of Jim Harbaugh? To me, it's like, should you keep him? Because what's the expectation at Michigan, okay? Like, if the expectation is that you're going to be a really good top 15 program win 10 games a year, absolutely not. Don't get rid of Jim Harbaugh, because he's done that. But if the expectation is that...
They've been a good team. They just can't beat Ohio State. They can't get past them. That dark cloud is still over their head. And they can't get from under that. They still gonna be under that. Ohio State had their numbers. They only beat them one time in this era ever since Jim Harbaugh became the coach. After that, it's just been 8 straight losses. Take that back. He didn't beat them. Slipped my mind. He's 0-5 against Ohio State. I almost forgot about that. It wasn't him. This team can't beat them.
You are going to win national championships and beat your number 1 rival, then what are we talking about, right? Like, if you're going to try and say that we are going to be the Clemsons and the Ohio States and LSUs and Alabamas, there's no proof over the last 5 years that you can do that with Jim Harbaugh. That's the truth. Now, if you don't want to be that, then don't say that. Don't say that that is your expectation. But has he been a good coach at Michigan? Absolutely. I was asked this
He had been a good coach since they hired him. He's still 47-17 as a coach at Michigan. He had his team winning 9 or 10 games a year, but they brought him there to be in the playoffs year after year, like Ohio State is. But if they can't beat them, they can't get past anything. They're going to continue being a 10-win team because they got one thing on their mind and still try to beat Ohio State, and they can't get that job done.
I asked myself this on Saturday. When was the last time Michigan had an early round drafted player on the offensive side of the football?
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
And so you're not developing offensive talent, which is where the game is right now. You're not beating Ohio State, and you're not in the national championship conversation.
Listen, let's just be real about what's going on here. A hammer and a nail do not have a rivalry. They have a relationship. We have to stop calling this for the moment a rivalry. And what we are doing is we are comparing Harbaugh to an historically great team. Ohio State right now, their rivals are not Michigan. Their rivals are not Penn State. Their rivals are Clemson and Alabama as the top programs in the country.
I don't know about that one.
Be real careful.
Those teams hate each other.
I get it, but Ohio State crushes them every...
That's what they want to do. They want to be able to win national championships. But your offense come out playing hard and then took their foot off the pedal. And Ohio State put their stamp on their neck and finish them off and dominate them rest of the way. It's that inconsistent on the offensive side. You can't come out and just play hard for the first 2 quarters and then fall asleep the next 2. Not against a good Ohio State team. That's complete. You can't do that. You have to come out and continue playing like that. That's why they can't beat them. Too much inconsistent going on with that team.
Single year.
Just because Ohio State's that is still a hated rival.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm saying if you're going to allow that to dictate, we can't beat those guys, so obviously we have the wrong coach. Go ahead, find 5 other coaches, and 25 years from now you'll be having the same conversation.
But that's fine. But then don't say that your expectation is to beat them or to win national championships. I'm okay with that. But you can't have both.
This has to be because he's making $7.5 million a year.
That's the only reason. Look, here's something that's important in Michigan that I know. a Michigan man. They have a Michigan man in place right now who's winning. Look at the win percentage against all others. Ohio State, yeah, they're on a different level. They're on a different level talent-wise, not coaching-wise. We got to bring in more talent. That's the whole thing. And when Ohio State, by the way, plays Clemson, they're not at that talent, and they're going to get smoked again by Clemson. So to me, I'm looking at this. It's all about that. There's some coaches that can't win with talent. There's no coach. I mean, and I look at it this way: no coach can win without it. But there's some coaches that can't.
Like, he's a good coach. He been winning since he got there. It's just up to him to bring in the best players to be able to try to make a playoffs and compete for a national championship. It's just everyone is not going to Michigan. Everyone's going to Ohio State and going against them. The recruits watch these games and they see how you playing, and they gonna choose your rivals.
Win with it. Right now, it's a talent deal, and when Michigan needs to step up their recruiting, and when they do that, I think they'll compete with anybody.
What do you think? Final word, yay or nay?
I would say, I don't think it's a matter of whether they should fire him. I think Jim Harbaugh should leave. It's never going to be good enough. It's not ever going to be good enough. He needs to go.
Back to the NFL?
Back
the guy's
to the
had
NFL.
success.
Go back to the NFL.
Enormous
You can't
success in the
schedule wins
NFL.
in the
Go back
NFL.
to the NFL.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports, more analysis, download the ESPN app.